Thank you guys for joining us today. It's been another, say, eventful week in the stock market. It was full of blood. Really, 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 this time it was really bad.
Yeah,
Right?
it was.
What would you say?
I think we've gotten to a stage of a quite bit of depression. I think one thing I would like to highlight is I feel like today's episode might be an easy pick
Yeah.
because I mean most of the stocks are already down, so there's a high probability that whatever we pick today is probably gonna go back up 10%,
We can
twenty
as well
percent.
mention 10, 20 stocks and probably next week or in the coming week,
Yeah,
everything will be up. But anyway, just quick recap of what happened in the previous week. So the week that just ended.
yeah,
The stock market was not, let's say, in the best form, and personally, I think that's expected. As I've always mentioned, that nothing can keep going up forever. The stock market has been bullish for several months, and it's just normal that some sort of minor corrections happen.
yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna recap on the picks we had last week.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about how they performed. Number one on the list is CCIV, which used to be a SPAC, but after the merger with Lucid Motors, they've been plunging crazy. Because I mean, usually SPACs are easy target for short sellers, and it's currently trading at 24, and it went down 20% last week. Number two pick is Beyond Meat, ticker symbol BYND. They went down 5% last week. Although on Friday it went quite up as the market was trying to recover. Number three pick was Vuzix, ticker symbol VUZI. Currently trading at 16, and it went down 15% last week. And number four is Palantir, ticker symbol PLTR. This one, ACK Invest have been buying more of this. They've been buying the dips. It was quite stable. It only went profit of 0.21%, which is quite okay in comparison to how the whole market performed. And number five is AMD, ticker symbol AMD, went down by 5.6%. The next is OCGN, ticker symbol OCGN. It's a pharmaceutical company or therapeutical company, and it went down 20% last week. But we can see a quick jump in the post market on Friday for 12%. So I feel like, I mean, it could be a recovery week next week.
Yeah.
And the next is Square, SQ. A lot of news happened on SQ last week. Good news, actually.
There's the news that Jack Dorsey is trying to buy Tidal. So the CEO of Square, who is also the CEO of Twitter, trying to buy Tidal. So that may be, or it's an indication that they have plans to grow, and it was quite positive news. However, there was not so much impact on the stock itself.
Yeah, and the last one was Docusign. That is ticker symbol DOCU. This was picked by my guy here because we're thinking that since we're getting back to normal life, um, yeah, before we get back to normal life, this should really go up. But it was kind of skeptical because we feel like people might begin to go back to office, and DocuSign might not be the future right now. But we picked this last week and it went down 6.6%. But I would like to highlight that majority of the shares have been having a good post market on Friday,
Yeah.
and we feel like that's a good quick recovery. And we're super curious on what next week would be like.
Yeah, and one thing I would just like to stress is the importance of not panic selling, because I think a lot of people, I've seen a lot of posts on Instagram. People are quite scared and they're beginning to sell, and a lot of people are even selling at a loss. So it's important that if you are actually trading or you're investing, you should not sell just because you see the market going in a particular direction, just as you should not buy as well when things are at the all-time high. Anyway, so that's all for the last week's picks. Let us know in the comment down below if any of these picks worked for you. In the middle of the week, we saw some slight moves. For example, UWM, I think.
Yeah, UWM because they got into UWMC.
UWMC.
Because I mean, according to Bloomberg, they said because some ETFs added them to their portfolio, that was why it was pumping. But we presume that to be a Reddit activity, by the Reddit.
Yeah, and talking about Reddit, GameStop was also up. Everything was going down, but for some reason, GameStop was
Yeah, GameStop was going up.
pumping a bit.
AMC was quite stable.
Yeah.
And a lot of activities were going on. We also mentioned that people should look into our previous videos where we talk about post-COVID stocks such as cruise ships and airlines. We also saw that a couple of the cruise companies are already having
Yeah,
bookings.
like Royal Caribbean. I read and on the internet that their cruises are booked for the rest of this year. So there is quite a sign there that things will change, or things are beginning to change, and people are beginning to want to travel again. So maybe travel stock could be interesting. We mentioned that in our previous videos. Please check those out as well.
Yeah, and I would like to highlight that as much as everything was going down last week, um, oil and gas companies were going up. So if you had a portfolio that is quite balanced on each
Yeah.
sector, there's a possibility that those are going to kind of average your positions in general or in total. So it's always a good thing to diversify in your portfolio.
Yeah, that's very important point. It's not good to just buy Nasdaq stocks, for example, only tech stocks. You need to mix it up. So you have some oil and gas, you have some basic materials, you have some probably
Real estate.
real estate. So it's good to just make sure your portfolio is balanced, because once, or if you have only Nasdaq stocks and Nasdaq is down, all of your portfolio is red. So you don't want to do that. Anyway, so I guess we move now to the stock picks for the coming week.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about the picks for the next week, and yeah, like I said earlier on, this is gonna be a pretty easy one because we presume that the market might be bouncing back, because the stimulus check was probably rolling next week in people's mailboxes, and we feel like people will become more comfortable to trade or to buy stuffs, and we also feel like we would know exactly the percentage of inflation we're going to have after the stimulus have been passed. And yeah, my number one pick for next week would be IDEX. Ticker symbol Ideonomics rather. Ticker symbol IDEX. Ideonomics, ticker symbol IDEX. It's currently trading at 2.85, and it went 3% up in the post market. But the all-time high has been about $5.50, and I feel like this is a good pick because they're kind of supplying products for electric vehicles, and I feel like when Tesla and NIO and all those electric vehicle stocks are going up, Ideonomics is a good pick. So number two that I have on my list is a company called, actually the ticker symbol is ATNX. It's a pharmaceutical company. The name is Atnx. ATNX. I'm picking the stock because they had an abrupt drop on Friday, and they fell to, I think, on Thursday, and then fell to about 4.32% on Friday. And usually the stock trades around $12 to $15 over the past month. And I feel like this is a very good pick right now. First of all, looking at technical analysis, there's a huge gap between the $10 value and $6 value. And I feel like this has to cover up that gap, regardless, one way or the other in time. And looking at the financial impact or what happened was they actually spoke about research that they had about breast cancer. So they spoke about finding a solution to this, and that really got the stock really up. And apparently the FDA didn't agree with the way they carried out the research. So they asked the company to do more solid research or more adequate tests on certain subjects. So I feel like this is for me, this is like submitting a thesis and then your supervisor telling you that what you did is incorrect, you should go back and do it again. So I feel like this company is going to come back, they'll get a better results. They'll fix what they're asked to fix. And eventually, when this is approved by the FDA, we're looking at 20, 30, or even 60% up from $4 to about $12 minimum or $10 minimum. So those are my 2 picks for the week.
For me, I'll pick Palantir. We've mentioned this a few times as well. Now, it is a company that builds, say, a software platform for counterterrorism. It's based in the US. Currently, it's trading at about $23, and I can see in the post market it's up 0.67%. I think it's a good stock to have. It's the momentum is really high, and also the interest of institutions and private investors in this stock is quite high as well. And the other one I'll pick is Ocgn. Ocgn is a biopharmaceutical company, and it focuses on therapies to cure blindness. It trades usually around 10, 11, sometimes 12, but it's quite down. It's about $8. I think with the interest as well of people and also based on technical analysis, it has potential to grow to about $15. And as I mentioned earlier, just lastly for me, I'm looking into travel stocks as well, and that's what I've been doing in the past week. I bought some more American, some more CCL, so that's Carnival, and then some more Norwegian as well. Just honorable mention, I should say, is CLVS. Now, CLVS is a stock that I think is currently trading lower than it should, and that's because of the sell-off. So you may want to check that. It's Clovis Oncology, and this company focuses on developing anti-cancer agents, just like Atnx you mentioned just now. So you may want to check. It trades usually around $7, but at the moment it's quite down, and it's 5.5. So that may be an interesting one for you to look into.
An honorable mention that I forgot to say is ZEPP. It used to be Huami Health. Currently ZEPP. I'm choosing ZEPP because they extended their partnership, or they expanded their partnership on Thursday with a company called Roomtech. So it's currently trading at $17. And he went as high as $20, and I feel like it's greatly undervalued. This is a very good company, and I think you should look at this one too. So
I guess that's it. If you have some stock picks for us as well, please leave them in the comment below. We'd like to learn from you. It's not just us mentioning the stocks every week. And also, I think the coming week should be a bit better than the weeks we've seen in the past 2 or 3. Just try to consolidate your positions, and I think everything's gone fine.
So don't forget to watch our previous videos. The stock picks in our previous videos are still valid because we've all seen the downturn of the things these days. So check out our previous video, and see you next week. Have a great week.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.